The temples were destroyed, but the foundations were so intact and strong that you could literally see the foundation of the Incan temples underneath the walls of the churches. And they had burned down, or they were torn down. So it was that layering, I think, that it was so vivid in terms of where one civilization and what they had built and cherished and worshipped existed, and how another civilization or people had sort of layered on top of that. So I think at that point was where it really began to resonate. But the challenge for me was how to represent it. Is it people screaming, and is it blood being spilled? And instead it turned out to be iconic shapes and forms that represented so many of the ethnographic images that I was able to see in the few places that there were still sort of things saved or discovered since. And then the second piece was I utilized this very rich and deep crimson color in the work in a number of pieces. There's two in this. There's two representations. One is the piece that's on the postcard, that kind of deep crimson sort of field, and then the other is a crimson ring. There's in the piece that's in the lobby. There's a gold. So that for me was really symbolic of the blood, and then the rest of the sort of rich luster and metallics were really of course symbolic of the riches. So that's how I ended up internalizing it. But it took a long time, actually. It took a year or more for me to really figure out what it would look like. And